Have you ever heard the old adage, you may just have to eat those words later, meaning it's something you might regret? Well, today, we're going to eat our words and we're going to enjoy it too. So come on into my kitchen. Hi, I'm Miss Rhonda. I work for the York County Public Library System, and this is Cookin' in the Kitchen with Miss Rhonda. Our recipe today was inspired by the children's book selection for this program going on at the library right now, York County Reads. It's a wonderful opportunity for everyone to join in reading the same book. It'll inspire us to communicate, make us feel a little bit more united. So, the book that was chosen for the children's selection is a wonderful, sweet story called The Word Collector. This book was written by Peter H. Reynolds, and it was published by the publishing company of Scholastic. It's a delightful story about the most wonderful little boy, Jerome, who instead of collecting rocks and blocks and other things like stamps, he collects words. And he goes on an adventure as he gathers all of his words, and the ending is wonderful. At this time, we do have a few free copies of the book at the library's children's department to give out to you. So once you've seen this video, come on by the library and come back to the children's desk and ask the librarian if there are any more copies available, because there is a limited supply. All right, sweethearts, you ready to find out what we're cooking today? Today, our recipe is alphabet soup. So, let's all go wash these hands, our best cooking utensils, and meet me at the stove. Okay, everybody, welcome to the stove. Now, I've already started to preheat my pot. Make sure your big person is with you. And the other thing that I made sure I did, I've gone ahead and gotten all of my ingredients prepared, measured out, and put into these little cups. So once we start to cook, it's going to be much easier. We don't have to stop in between. Now, this is the exciting part. We're cooking today. We're not baking. So this isn't a science. And if there's an ingredient that I mention and you're not interested in it, you can leave it out. If you want to add a little bit more of something, you can put a little bit extra in. So you ready? Let's get started. The first thing we're going to need is a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And it really calls for 1 tablespoon, but as you can see, Miss Rhonda just kind of decided to figure it out. It's about a twirl or 2 around the pan. And the next thing we're going to add is 1 finely diced shallot. This is a shallot. A shallot is really just a smaller onion. A lot of people think that it's just a little bit milder than what a regular onion would be. But I like to use the Vidalia sweet onions. They work just fine for me. So I put that into my pot, and you can hear it sizzling. You hear that? That's why we preheated it, because as soon as we drop the onions in, it starts to cook. And it's already smelling like soup. We're going to let these onions melt down just a little bit. We don't need them to get brown. We just want them to get what they call translucent. Do you know what translucent is? That can be one of the words we collect. It means clearer. You can see through it, basically. So as our onions are cooking down, the next thing we're going to want to add into our pot is 1 clove of finely diced garlic. Now, this is what a garlic bulb looks like. That's the entire garlic. You only want 1 clove, just 1 little section. And you're going to have to open him up, and the funnest thing with garlic is you just smash it and it comes right out of its skin, and then you have to dice him up. So we're going to add the 1 clove of garlic, and to that we're also going to add 1 stalk of finely diced celery. In the pot they go. Get all the yummy bits. out of my cup because I like all of the ingredients that are going into this soup. To me, everything adds just another layer of flavor. So these are going to work together, and we're going to let these combine. They're going to join in harmony. A collected word. The next things that are going to go in are going to be some very fragrant and aromatic spices. The 3 spices that our recipe calls for is basil leaves, oregano leaves, and thyme leaves. And you only need about a quarter cup of each. A quarter teaspoon. Dear me, sweeties, you put in a quarter cup and your soup is gone, no matter whether we're cooking or baking or what we're doing. That would be entirely too much. But if you don't have those 3 separate spices, you can always just use your good old Italian seasoning because it has all 3, basil, thyme, and oregano in there, a few others, but it works just fine. And most everybody has that. So I'm going to teach you a trick. Here are my spices. We want to wake them up. So I put them in my hand and I just run my fingers through them. And that gives them a nice chance to do something that we call bloom. Well, how in the world do spices bloom? Well, spices bloom because blooming means that it comes to its most beautiful place that it can be, and we just help those spices. Can you smell that, guys? Smells good. Alrighty. Next thing in the pot, in our can you see everything's starting to get nice and translucent? Is our tomato paste. Now, you may have seen tomato paste in a can. Well, Miss Rhonda has a bad habit of you buy a 6-ounce can of tomato paste and you only use 4 ounces of it. That was 4 tablespoons of tomato paste, by the way, sweethearts. And a can, there'd be 2 leftover tablespoons. So what I'd wind up doing is putting that can in the back of my fridge, and in 2 months, I got myself a full-blown science project that needed to go in the garbage in the first place. So I found the tomato paste tube. I love this thing. You just take what you need, squeeze it out like toothpaste, put the cap back on, back in the refrigerator it goes. So that may be something you want to look into. All right, we've got everything all working together. It's time to add a little bit of liquid. The first thing we're going to add is our vegetable stock. Now you can just use the plain old vegetable stock, the kind that comes in a box, or you can make your own from bouillon cubes, whichever works just fine. But we're going to need 1 full box, or 4 cups, and I measured it out. That goes into our soup. Now you need to stir him up a little bit because you need to get that tomato paste into the soup. We don't want it to be chunky. I'm telling you guys, this smells good. And then to this, I'm going to add 1 can of diced tomatoes. I want the tomatoes and the juice, the whole get-go. Get all the yummies out of the can. Stir that around. All right, at this point, we're really getting close. But we want all of these ingredients to kind of come together and to heat up. We want the vegetables, the onion, the garlic, the celery. We want the herbs. We want them to just come together with our broth and really give it a good flavor. So, we're going to put our lid on. And while that's simmering away, I'm going to give you some information about a wonderful program that's coming to the library called Patchwork Tales. This is a fabulous opportunity for you to see virtual storytelling on our Facebook page, at our website. There are two really wonderful opportunities for children. On Thursday, March 11th, there's the Pumpernickel Puppets, and that would be a wonderful opportunity. You can watch that on our YouTube channel. And then on Saturday, March 13th, Roger Day is going to perform on Facebook Live, so you're going to have to see it on Facebook Live. You won't get it to go back and repeat. That will just be on Saturday, March 13th from 2 o'clock until the end of his program. So, please check it out. It's the 20th anniversary of Patchwork Tales, and we have international storytellers. This is really something special to enjoy. All right, time to check on that soup. Oh, this is looking really, really good. It needs something else, though. What comes next? Well, how about a few vegetables? What do you say we put in some vegetables? Now, Miss Rhonda likes everything I've got in this mixed vegetable bag, so I'm just gonna let him all go into my soup. There's a few carrots and peas, corn, green beans, lots of good bright colors. And I really enjoy corn. And I had just a little bit of corn left in my freezer, so guess we're cooking. So this goes in too. Why not? It just makes the soup look brighter and happier. All right. We're going to let this come up to a simmer and let all of our vegetables thaw out. And once that's done, we can add our magic ingredient. And what's that? Our alphabet letters. All right, let's put a lid on it and let's let it cook. Okay, as you can see, we've reached that simmering stage. Now this is very hot. All right, sweet peas. We have just a couple more steps and then we can have ourselves a delicious pot of soup. The first is we're going to add just a little bit of salt, and we'll add just a little bit of pepper, and then give that a stir. And what goes in next? A half cup of alphabet letters. That's what's going to give us our words. So we're going to pour those in, stir them around. We don't want them to get mushy, so we're just going to let them simmer in the soup for about, I think they will be something called al dente, which is to the tooth, which means not mushy, in about 6 or 7 minutes. So hang on tight, put the lid back on, and I'll see you back here when they're ready. Well, everybody, our alphabet soup is done. Oh, look at the steam coming off of that. It looks delicious. And because Miss Rhonda can't leave well enough alone, I think I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of Parmesan cheese right over the top. Now, I'm going to let this cool down a minute and remind you about Patchwork Tales. Don't forget about this wonderful opportunity coming to the library March 11th through the 13th. You don't want to miss Pumpernickel Puppets on Thursday the 11th and Roger Day and his Invincible program on Saturday, March 13th. All right, sweethearts, I think it's time to eat my words. Let's see. Let's try this word. was stupendous. I think I'd like to eat another word. Let's find this word. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, this word is marvelous. One more? I agree. This is good soup. One more word. You ready? That word? Just plain tasty. All right, sweethearts, make a nice pot of soup. You can sit on your sofa and watch Roger Day on Saturday the 13th while you're having some alphabet soup. Love ya. See you next time.